Welcome by painting another flower. This is an anemone. And again, you can make any color you want, but this is June, I think. June, the sixth flower in our season or in our series of painting flowers every month. I'm going to start with my stem. Any green you want. There's not a right way, a right green, a wrong green, any green that you like. You can add a tiny bit of a brown to your green if you want to kind of switch it up a bit. You can go a little bit purple. Any green you want. I'm going to paint all the way to the bottom. I'm going to hold on the green leaves. And I'm going to make another pink flower because I can. So on this one, I am going to mix. See if I can show you like this. And just move all the things. My pink is up here. I'm going to bring a small amount of yellow and I'm going to kind of mix it with some pink to give me kind of this color. I'm going to dilute it a lot, so it's going to be really light. And I am going to paint every petal. You can even go a little bit more yellow if you want to. Every petal this color. A little bit more yellow. Even though they are the same color, I still like to paint them separately because I know they dry separately. And I kind of want to see that. So paint one, skip one, paint one, skip one works really well. This layer is supposed to be really light because it's kind of the inside towards the middle. That is kind of the whitish color. I'm just making mine like a yellow, orangey pink color. So paint them all separate like that. Really light. Like, it's also okay if there's some that doesn't look the same. All good. Then, let's just see. So if they are shiny, then they are wet. So then you cannot paint there. So this one, or this side, is not shiny anymore. Now you want to go with your pink. You can use your pink as is, or you can mix it with something. I can never just paint. I always have to like mix. So I'm going to start by doing the ones that is towards the back. So this one, I'm going to point my brush to that outside line. Even though I outline, I immediately come back in and blend it out. It kind of ends, I want to say like a 1/4 inch from the middle. And by touching it with my wet, clean brush, I can just soften that line a bit. I'm going to skip one and I'm going to come to this one. So same idea. I paint on top of that background color. This one, you cannot see the white or the light section. So I'm just going to paint all the way in there. Almost looks like a very abstract kind of heart. I'm going to skip this one and paint this one. So the reason I also like to start painting the back ones, most of the time it will help you if you do those ones first to make sure that you can see the front ones. So if they are already filled in, then it will be easier to see where the front ones are. This one you do see a little bit of the white. I'm going to paint up until there, clean my brush, and just tap, 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 dragging it along. Skip one, start painting this one. So even though I outline, I always want to come back and quickly fill it in. I want to control the water on my brush a lot so I can make stripy kind of lines. Clean my brush, touch it, and then soften. Again, it's like a finger or maybe less. Maybe wait for it to dry. Yeah, it's too wet. And then you can always come back and add a few more lines. Okay, so I'm going to skip that one because this one may be too wet. I'm going to do this one. So as soon as you have like a few, it's kind of easy to then follow and leave like a, almost want to say like a little radius around the center. So this one, again, even though I'm outlining, I immediately come back and pull down. See where this one is kind of stopping. So I'm going to do a little bit, clean touch, tap, tap, tap to get that mixed or blended. Wait for it to dry. This one. So it's going to be like this. I'm going to. So by doing a flower, like a few different layers, you can definitely mix a little bit more, adding a little bit more, getting different values in your art versus just one light color, and you may not get the same effects that you want. You also don't have to paint so realistic. If you want to, you can just kind of do an outline. I would do a few outline to show you guys what an outline idea can also look like. We use the pen. Okay, and then outline and then just kind of fill in. Okay, so this one is a little bit too wet. Too wet, too much water. Go a little bit in there, be careful. Let's see if I can push back. Whenever there's a petal underneath another one, the one on the top should have a lighter edge, just so you can see the difference, or else they're going to look like they just are one big flower. Most of the time, it is easier to do it after you've done your first initial coloring, just put everything down and then see what it looks like, versus trying to get it from the top, right from the start. You can. I'm always trying to, but then it's just easier when everything is a little drier and you can see how it dries where you actually need something. So see how interesting is this petal? It doesn't want to dry quickly. So weird. Sometimes it happens and you're just like, why? So if you do not have a heat gun or a hairdryer, you should get a heat gun. They are so easy. And you just want to, it was a little wet when I was trying to push it back. So let me see if I can do it. You can still sometimes move wet paint or dry paint. You can still sometimes move it. You may never get rid of it, but you can definitely make it softer. Yeah, so let's see. So I have everything filled in. These two definitely stands out a little bit more. So I'm just what I'm gonna do, if that happens to you, is to come back and see if you can add the same color here and there. Like that petal is to the back. I want to add it kind of right there. I'm gonna make a few lines in here. So see, by adding the same color, I don't now only look at those two petals. My eye goes everywhere. I don't even know. Maybe just a few little lines like this. Again, this one is behind, so make it somewhat darker. Soften this one. When you clean your brush and you come back to do this, always make sure you suck up the water so you don't drop it on there. Okay, so that looks cute. Okay, then what I want to do is going back into my green. A little bit more of a brighter green for this one. So I just want to add a little bit of the grassy kind of green to my greens that I already have here. And make sure you do not paint if your petals are a little bit wet, but I'm gonna do in there and I'm gonna do an uneven kind of edge on the outside. Drop in some of the darker color. You can also switch to a smaller brush if you want to get in there. I painted over my flower a little bit by accident. And then of course, more leaves are better. Uneven edges. Adding some blue. And I'm just touching it at the top because I know my wallflower is still wet, so it should blend in really easy. And as you go, you can always just add more and more and more. For the next part, I am going to mix black. So I like to make a little puddle in my black to get my black watery and black, so I don't have to touch outside water. I added a very small amount of purple, and I'm gonna paint this circle in a very cool purple black. Somewhat circlish. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to take my brick brush and just gently make a whole bunch of little tiny dots. They can all blend together. Some of them, they can stand individually. I want to go up and down with like an uneven, don't just make them even. And I want to come back everywhere. Kind of like that. Then I'm going to switch to a small brush because it's just a little bit easier with a small brush. I may even want to go a bit smaller. And I'm going to, wait, make sure that you make your puddle with a lot of water so it's really dark. So one of the reasons I like to do this is so you don't have to go dip into your water and water it down, because you kind of want this to stay dark. I make sure that my hand is down on the table, and you can either flick away or, and I would just go everywhere, away towards you. Think of the rays of the sun, so you want to go all directions. They can overlap, so you can have a few that goes like this, and then you can have a few that kind of goes a little crazy. And there is my anemone.